Find a way to love each other. One love, one life, one Niger. If we stand as one, oh my God. Unity.
Well, thank you for staying with us. How much is a liter of petrol where you are? Well, in Lagos.
Coming in this morning, I saw a number of them. And one of them was 615.
In Lagos?
Yes.
Wait, are you sure you live in Lagos?
I had my glasses on.
Oh, okay. Because that figure is the Abuja figure. For what I gather. That's how much they've been buying fuel.
This morning.
650.
615.
615?
615, yes.
Okay, because in the course of the week, I bought fuel for almost 600, yeah. You're right, so yeah. Almost 600. Yeah.
Well,
but
there was good news.
Because that's what's going to make the difference for people when they start hearing refinery, you know,
will be completed.
And all those
start
things.
Production.
How is it? We'll get there shortly. How is that going to affect the price of bread? You say from time to time. We'll come to you, Engineer Shirley. Well, you know, you've been hearing one of their voices already, but just a quick background that. August this year, the federal government said that the Port Harcourt Refinery Company, that's the Port Harcourt Refinery for short, will be back on stream by December as part of the government's commitment to ending petroleum product importation. Sorry, you want to drink water?
I was clearing my throat.
Oh, okay. I know.
Yes,
that's
thank you.
You want to drink water?
Yes, I will have some water. Thank you
no,
very
the producer
much.
is going to give you water. Okay. Now, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Senator Heineken Lopobiri, was quoted giving the assurances during an inspection tour of the rehabilitation work. I can also say to you that the managing director of the PH refinery has also made the same assurance and told Nigerians the reasons for the delay that dates back as far as COVID-19 of 2020, the challenges that they have had, and how fast things are working now. A lot of okay, let me say the way the intestines of the refinery is being reconstructed. But so when you see the facade on the outside, it doesn't look like anything is going on. There's a lot of work going on the inside. That's what understanding has been given by the MD. But let's have a conversation around that with someone who has been within that same system. This morning, we're joined by Engineer Babajide Shiode, who is former MD of Warri and Port Harcourt Refinery as well?
No, Kaduna.
Warri and Kaduna Refineries. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
As well as Dr. Ayodele Oni, our energy law and policy expert. Good to see you in the flesh. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Let me come to you. Let me begin with you, Engineer Shiode. Give Nigerians an understanding of this whole rehabilitation. I've been hearing about TAM, turnaround maintenance, for Nigeria's refineries since Obasanjo's government that started more than 20 years ago. His first time ended about this year, 20 years ago. So, and we've been hearing about this turnaround maintenance since that time. There has been no turnaround. Help us understand what was happening at that time and what is happening now, and why our refineries are not working.
But there is no problem. Turnaround maintenance is on an operating refinery. Every 2 years, you shut it down completely and do all the maintenance. That is turning around. Rehabilitation is of an old refinery built completed in 1965. Technologies over
changed.
It's 68 years old. They have new technologies, new equipment. So they are bringing about. It is almost like constructing the refinery. Afresh. Completely different. Turnaround maintenance usually takes 35 to 45 days. And we've been doing it in Nigeria, it's no problem. Rehabilitation is really the first time they are rehabilitating a refinery that I know of.
We understand that this process, particularly for Port Harcourt and Warri refineries, have been on for a number of years.
No. So they are just rehabilitating. First time. It is not possible. I was in charge of building Warri refinery and also part of Kaduna refinery. They have not been rehabilitated. They have been down. And because they have been down for so many years, and because the technologies are old, and because the specification of products are old. So they need to rehabilitate to bring it back and become more efficient. That is what they are doing.
Help us understand. I'll come to you, Dr. Adelone. What brought them down? They were working at some point. At what point did these refineries, Warri, Refinery, Kaduna, thankfully you've worked there before, at what point did they stop working in the first place?
You asked your politicians now.
Well, they weren't the ones
You are the
working
ones,
there.
they are the ones who really control the refineries. If you get an order from the state house, what are you going to do? Say you are not going to do it?
What does that mean?
I'm saying the government is the owner.
Yeah.
If the owner says you do this, you do it.
So what kind of orders are you talking about?
Whatever orders. But that, look, let's be honest. These refineries are 50-something years old. 50, 58, 53 years old.
Yeah.
58 years old this year. It's due for a change, for rehabilitation, upgrade, or whatever you call it. So that's a separate matter. They have been turning this refinery around relatively until around 1984, when politicians got involved and started dictating whom the turnaround maintenance contract would be awarded to.
Oh.
That is when trouble started. I can tell you this because I was in Warri. The last turnaround maintenance bill in 1982, I was in charge, and I used Nigerian graduates of PTI to do the turnaround. To 60% of the turnaround, we did it.
And it worked.
And it worked. It will work. There's nothing complex about the refinery. Is that you have a car, every 2 years you want to turn it over. Or you have your house, you want to do it and so on. It is standard. Because when you do turnaround maintenance, you shut everything down. And before that, you are accumulating things that have to be changed and modified and so on. And it is done in turnaround maintenance. Otherwise, you don't want to shut down a refinery. You are losing money. But when you give turnaround maintenance contract to fishermen, you are going to have trouble.
Ouch.
Dr. Oni.
That hurt.
So, were you the one that got the contract?
Ouch.
Dr. Oni, can you validate this?
Well,
no, I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm just, you've been in the industry, you have been in the industry,
okay.
So you will understand what's going on.
Factually, I cannot, but it only goes to reason and logic that if you're supposed to get experts to maintain a facility over a period of time and you do not use the right people, you will be causing more harm than good. 1, 2, if you do not carry out such maintenance as and when you ought to, you will also fall into this problem. And I think it's not only in refining. I think it's across the entire Nigerian system. You have new facilities and you fail to maintain them. You have new facilities and politics plays a more critical role than policy. Than doing the right thing. So you will hear bizarre stories such as you had someone who was leading the engineering department of NEPA, what used to be National Electric Power Authority, which was effectively Never Expect Power at all, which then became PATN before the unbundling and then privatization. You had someone who studied Yoruba. My dad used to tell me a lot of stories, growing up.
Pause.
So if you have these situations...
I wish the camera had been on my face, you would have seen the shock. Someone studied Yoruba to do what?
Who was leading a unit at NEPA. I've heard
engineering unit.
Yes, so if you hear such bizarre stories, I mean, that was something my dad told me. And if you hear such bizarre stories, you wouldn't be surprised about what he's saying. So if you don't do the right things, you will always get into this sort of problem. That's it.
Can you compute, for the life of you, how much we have lost in terms of not just the fuel, petrol, Jet A1, kerosene, diesel, in terms of petrochemical products, if you would value how much we may have lost over the years with our refineries as a result of our refineries not working?
Yes.
That would be very difficult to do, but
I know.
You could take a few numbers, you could take statistics, data around how much we spend refining, what percentage of our budget and trillions of naira we spend
importing,
buying importing refined products, finished products. You know, as long as you continue to sell your crude and buy back refined products, you are losing from a balance of trade and balance of payment perspective, and I'll tell you why. You maybe make $1 billion from selling your crude. You then need to buy back, because remember, finished products, you add value to crude. That's when you have finished product. That's the problem we have in the country. We rely on base resources, which do not even guarantee energy security, because to have energy security, you need to make those base resources usable or useful. You can't pour crude oil in your vehicle. You can't. You need to refine it to PMS or AGO, depending on what sort of vehicle you use. So if you need to take that into consideration. 1, 2, you need to also take into consideration other externalities, factors you cannot say is $1 or $1. Employment, rather we are shipping employment elsewhere, because when you go to Rotterdam and go bring in finished products, go do your refining, you're providing jobs for those who work in the refineries, whereas in your own country, except for bizarre stories like you hear that they're spending $1 billion, whatever it is, on paying staff at those refineries that aren't working, say for such bizarre stories, and I don't know if they're founded stories. The externalities, the naira and kobo will be tens of billions of dollars, because you're also having capital flight. Your USD then needs to chase finished products.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. Mr. Shahide.
Yes.
We have got assurances from government and the managing director of the Port Harcourt Refinery that the work will be completed this month, at the end of this month, and production will begin. Should we be clapping and dancing?
Yes.
It is possible that that will be...
Well, from what I know, the work is being completed, and I saw some TVs. You see, what people don't understand, mechanical completion or completion of a refinery is different from when you start getting products.
Okay.
You have to do what we call pre-commissioning.
When will this dampness stop?
No, it is not. No.
You are counting down.
Excuse me, you are learning. Next time you won't ask that kind of, you will learn. You will understand more. It's not a problem. Look, so rehabilitation is like rebuilding the thing.
Okay, and after building,
and then you have to commission, and then you start it up.
Okay, commissioning. What does commissioning entail?
Is that commissioning or taping? Is that tape cutting?
No. First of all, let me tell you.
And then the next day, petrol will come out.
No,
doesn't work.
Commissioning.
Like that. Okay.
You first of all you check everything.
Okay.
Don't forget. First, no. You are talking of a refinery.
Yeah.
You are handling highly flammable products.
Yes.
That refinery, like you see it, is a bomb from the day it was started until it is decommissioned.
Yeah.
So you need to be extremely careful.
Yes.
So you check, first of all, that everything they be is correct. You clean it up, all right, with first with air. You clean it up with water. Then you clean it up with air again. You clean it up with nitrogen. Nitrogen. Yes.
Before you know, with the products. Oh, not yet.
Then you will now put crude in. And so gradually, they are going to raise the temperature, which may take you about a week or two till it is reached a boiling point.
So this is commission.
That is commissioning.
How long will commissioning take?
It depends
approximately.
Excuse me. It depends. No, don't.
On what you find.
It depends on what you see. Sometimes, honestly, you may think you have got everything. We are talking of machines. Even brand new ones you can take can spoil. So you forget something. All of them you must change, because you cannot afford any error. Error could be fatal.
Fatal.
And not just to one person.
Everybody.
Okay.
So commissioning takes some time. Now I don't know honestly I don't know what program they did. Whether they put commissioning when they were talking over in the month, whether they are just talking of mechanical completion, I don't know.
Well, from what you know, how long, since it is not complete now, from what we know, how long will it take between now, even if the government did, maybe I should put the question like this. What
No,
is
no,
it?
please, let's not talk about government. Because
No, I'm coming.
Uh-huh.
The refinery, the MD is speaking that it will be delivered before the end of this month. What, in your opinion, will be delivered?
Well, I don't know. If the MD say it will be delivered, that means he has included commissioner and everything in it, and so it will be
Even
delivered.
with some nylon still on some of the equipment, the videos making around.
I don't know. Look, I've not been there. If I'm
like-
there, if really this are there, I could tell you. But what I would know, look, if it is not by December, by latest March, it will be operating.
March.
How long, in your opinion, or rather from what you know, from your experience, before we start getting fuels?
From
out?
that
Yes.
particular refinery.
Yes.
As I said, when you do commission, normally after you do commission, you start up. You just put on in 2 weeks' time, you are getting product.
So in between now and about, say, 1 month?
I
2 months?
cannot give you any day because I am not there.
Okay.
Okay.
But I will
Mr.
say,
Ayodele.
because I will tell you why. It's an old refinery. It's a relatively simple refinery.
Yeah.
So if commission is not there, it's normally within 3 months it can be commissioned and that, but because it's an old refinery, so it really should not be long.
I'll still want to ask
It
you
is
about
because-
modular refineries, but we'll get there.
Okay, Mr. Oni, at the middle of this year, we were all very excited when the Dangote refinery was commissioned, and we thought, okay, something will happen by the third quarter of this year. And in their press conferences during the commissioning, they actually mouthed to us that production would start. They would start producing fuel by July, August. Here we are now in December. Nothing has come out of that refinery, and we are all still suffering for it. How far, sir? Do you have any information about that? Why we're not seeing any fuel from that refinery?
I'll say a few things. One, from my experience in the industry. Two, from press reports. Well, from press reports, it appears that there was some pressure to announce what was announced at that time. Secondly, you recall, like what he said, there's mechanical completion and there is commissioning, testing and commissioning. Now, at the point of testing and commissioning, you may find out that there are issues that were not anticipated. It then means that you may, to an extent, need to deal with contingencies, and that could be a reason for the delay. Maybe at that point, it was, a brownie point the past administration wanted to score. I do not know. Maybe it's about now they should be doing that ceremony that was done, and then maybe December, January, they may begin refining properly. So once you finish mechanical completion, you still need to do your testing and your commissioning to find out if everything works together, because it's a combination of complex machinery. So, different from what you have with the older refineries. You understand? It's more modern, and the instrumentation and control unit will be more advanced. The electrical, system. So I suspect that they probably had finished mechanical completion, or to a large extent,
why then do we factor in Mr. Rewani's comments? I'm sure you are aware of what Mr. Rewani said, that it doesn't make any sense to export crude and not give to a domestic industry, domestic refinery.
There's been a lot of half-truths, half-information out there. A lot of people understand that we do forward sale of our crude and of our gas, and we do swaps and derivatives, and then assume because of that you don't have any more. You sold all of your future. But it's not completely true. Businesses raise financing through creative means, such as when you need to invest or develop an asset to be able to generate. So if you don't have that money, you get money to be able to generate it. Promise someone that you sell to them at a discount. You understand? So they are able to lend you that money. It's similar to what Nigeria has done with respect to its crude. Now, there have been stories that the NNPC would then not have enough, or would not have, because it sold all of its crude. That's not true. Now, part of the challenges we've had before now that also seem to give some credence to some of that press report and the rumor you did hear was that because of crude oil theft, a number of guys were shutting in. If someone was stealing between the point of production and the export terminal, someone was stealing 40%, 20%, 80% of your crude, you will shut down at some point because you will be doing at a loss. But with the action government's taking, some of what they are doing, working with the locals, and some provisions around the PIA, host community, taking care of the host community, the trust arrangement, you would see that's gradually easing. Plus, you see more recently we're meeting or nearly even exceeding our OPEC quota. So all of those suggest that production is increased. Now, if you shut in, you have less production and you're unable to provide for both local guys and export. But once your production meets what is technically allowable, I think that's a correct term, if you may correct me. That is what you can technically produce. If you meet those numbers, then I don't think we have a problem based on my involvement in the sector.
We're running out of time, and geez, I wish we had more time. But Engineer Shode, I have to ask you about this one before we go. Part of the conversations we've had, for Nigeria to stop importing refined fuel, was the licensing of several, I forgot the number of modular refineries that were, you're laughing. we heard stories that, okay, once these modular refineries kick in, Nigeria will have more fuel and all those things. But it's been stories down through the ages. What do you make of all of that? Why aren't even the modular? What's 419?
The whole thing is 419. Look, you don't have time. Modular refineries do not produce petrol.
Yes.
So
you would not be economical. There is some very expensive technology equipment you need to add to your modular refinery to get PMS.
Produce petrol.
It will not be profitable.
I don't understand.
They do not produce petrol.
Yes, they don't.
They are some of them.
They produce AGO.
They produce AGO.
Yes.
They produce AGO. Yes. That's about what they put. And some kerosene.
But you're saying then, just a second, you're saying then that what the Executive Secretary of Nigerian Content, NCDMB said wasn't true?
What did he say? I didn't hear.
He said that, they will start getting PMS, AGO, and some other fuels.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not a chemical engineer, so I will excuse him.
I can give further context.
No, sorry. Okay.
I'm repeating, he's not a chemical engineer, so I can excuse him. These modular refineries, they do not, the one they are wanted, they do not produce petrol. They need to add other units to treat and then make petrol. They produce diesel, they can produce kerosene. Then they produce fuel oil, big oil, which is a problem for them. They don't know how to get rid of it.
Which is why
they... No, fuel is the bottoms of the barrel.
Okay. What is it used for?
You use you put in the furnace for cement plant, for example, use it to fire in the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, if you know why banks don't give them money, because they are not profitable. Because if you don't produce, refinery is mainly these days about producing petrol. Almost all the units in the refinery are about producing petrol. Now, if you don't produce petrol, then what? The reason is that petrol is more expensive than... No. It costs, you buy more, you pay more for petrol than crude oil costs. Whereas the fuel oil costs, you take lower, you get less for it. So if you don't produce petrol, you are producing fuel oil, and you buy crude oil at this price, you are bankrupt.
Okay. Mr. Sheridan, quickly, because we're running out of time, all these local refineries, instead of destroying them, is there any way we
Which
can...
refinery are we destroying?
Those, not refineries. Those who are refining crude in the creeks. Yes.
They are not refineries, please. They are not refineries.
I corrected myself.
Problem. They are killing those regions little by little.
They should not be encouraged in any way.
Not, I mean, there is need for economic development there and from a job, but not that one. They are killing themselves. They may not die now, maybe in 20, 25 years' time, because you pollute the air in such. You've been to Port Harcourt, you see all the streets there.
Yes.
That is it. Okay. I don't blame them because they have to find something rather than going to steal. Yeah. But even the oil, they steal the oil now.
Okay.
But what about the product that
It's
they
not
produce?
I don't know. I've not seen it. Certainly not on spec.
haven't-
It's not on spec. Definitely not on spec. Diesel, they don't produce petrol. Again, they don't produce petrol. They try to produce some diesel, maybe some kerosene. They are not on spec.
Now, you said, Dr. Oni, that you wanted to give some perspective to what engineer.
Yes, I agree with him completely. The thing about
Which one
modular
are you agreeing with him?
Everything is said around they don't produce petrol. Now, modular refineries are such that for them to be profitable, they can't produce petrol because there's an expensive equipment that you need to add on to your refinery to be able to produce petrol. The closest, I think, is naphtha, and you can correct me.
Naphtha is the
Closest.
most profitable
You can't
there.
do
You don't have
petrol because if you add that equipment, then your project is not going to be bankable. You won't be able to recover your cost because remember, they have lifespan before you do your rehabilitation, which would cost almost the amount to build it. So it's just a cycle. So as long as they don't do PMS,
Give up.
it doesn't. It's just what it is.
Gentlemen,
It's not worth it.
it's time to go.
I mean, it's not necessarily not worth it,
But you know, you want to quickly add some to whatever it is. Well, what Engineer Shirley said the other time about when we'll start getting fuel.
I think if Dangote is lucky.
No, I'm talking about the Port Harcourt refinery.
March, I think March. Because I think commissioning, with what I see, the videos, the conversations I see in the press, it looks like it's mechanical completion that they may finish in December. You do commissioning and testing, right? And that will take a few weeks or a few months. I don't think it will match.
No. They are commissioning parts of it. It's not everything. You see, what you see, only some things. Some things are already commissioning. All right? They're already commissioning something as you go along.
Yeah.
It's not every. You see, mechanical components, everything is ready at the same time. No. There are some early, some 6 months before, some may be late. So you are commissioning as a. But the point, everything must be ready. So that is why I say, I think there is March. It's a reasonable, from my knowledge, it's a reasonably good time. And really, nobody should worry anything about it. Even government, I say, the minister, the head of state, because they are not refiners. So if you are not there, you cannot know.
Okay.
So the suffering continues.
No, there is no suffering.
With renewed hope.
There is renewed hope. There is no suffering. At least you have hope. You know it is coming. I can tell you
it is coming.
And it will come.
It will come. Okay.
Engineer
Well, I
Babajide,
suppose that's good enough.
It's good enough. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than no ideas. Well, we should be hearing from you more, Engineer Babajide.
If you invite me, I will come.
He's former MD, Warri and Kaduna Refineries. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
And Dr. Ayodele Oni, energy law and policy expert. We've been hearing from you. We must hear from you more because Nigerians need not more than hope. We need assurances that these things are not just stories. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Well, let's switch to another sector, this time aviation, where we return from this break. Do stay with us.